the cloud. All right, perfect. All right. So as most of you know, or all of you know, I am Jeffrey DeRose, founder of Startup Advisory Group. Just a little background on Startup Advisory Group. Startup Advisory Group is a company that I started that's focused around economic advancement for Black and Brown communities. And I'm trying to do that through investor education, technology education, and entrepreneurship education. For me personally, I feel like, of course, systemic racism and systemic oppression are very real things, but I also believe that there's a lot that we can do as individuals to take control of our situation and improve our situation and improve our communities, you know? And I also feel like it's never been a better time to be Black or Latino in America. You know, it's not the 50s, it's not the 60s, it's not the 1800s. There's so much opportunity for Black and Spanish people. There's so many grants being given out. There's so many companies being started. You're seeing this new focus of like the investment community focusing on investing in Black and Brown founders and things like that. So I know we have a crazy history in this country, and you know, especially like from an economic standpoint, it hasn't always been the best. But just want to stress that you know, it's still a great time to be, you know, Black or Latino in America, and we should definitely make sure we fully seize that. So with that being said, I'm going to share my screen and just get this presentation started. Let me open it up on my end. And I think this call is going to be rather short. You know, we really might just be here for 30, 40 minutes. It's not too long. Just want to give you guys a run through what we're going to be doing. All right. Relax. All right, so I hope everyone can see my screen okay. So this is the kickoff meeting. Yeah, I just give you guys, you know, what is Startup Advisory Group. So, you know, I give you guys that little rundown. What is the investment community, right? So, because of the pandemic, I saw a lot of people getting into trading, especially like my friends and family. You know, a lot of my friends and family getting into trading, you know, doing it for the first time, making a lot of mistakes. And I said to myself, you know, let me just sit down and teach these people how to do things the right way so they don't destroy themselves and get themselves blown up. So I remember when I first started this thing, it was literally just like 5 people. It was just my friends, you know, and you know, from seeing just the success of just coaching people and helping them get on the right track and the positive feedback and just the way it grew. I think like, you know, a lot of you guys are part of the last cohort that was like over 50 people. I had a cohort previous to that one that was over 50 people. So I literally like in 2020, I've educated over 100 Black people on investing with Black and Latino, which I think is a very powerful thing, right? And I just wanted to create a safe space where we can just come together, learn about investing in a way that relates to us, you know, and I also wanted to make sure that I'm teaching our community the right way of doing things, right? There's a lot of trading communities out there. There's a lot of people on the internet trying to teach people how to trade. Most of those people have only been trading for, you know, a year, 2 years, 6 months, and they're really trying to teach people, and you know, they don't know, you know, what they're doing. So I wanted to create a program around fundamental investing. I feel like, you know, there's a lot of people doing trading, but I feel like if you know, if you don't really know what you own, and you don't know what your company is doing, you don't know what their profits look like, what their revenue growth looks like, you know, you're really in the dark about what's going on. And I am really a risk adverse person. So I feel like knowing what you own helps to mitigate risk, right? You might be in a company that's doing well, flying off the charts, and then earnings comes and the company gets completely destroyed, or there's a bad, like, you know, sell off in the NASDAQ, and then those companies are getting destroyed and never quite recover. And, you know, sometimes we're sitting there going, oh man, like I wish I knew that this company was no good and I would have never gotten into it. And, you know, that's why I created this, so that you can learn how to properly investigate a company, you know, before you get into it, right? And as I have down here, you know, my goal is to have you guys analyzing and investing like professional money managers. Actually, before we get into about the program, I just want to give you, because some of you guys are new, just a little background on myself. So I actually started my first company when I was in high school. I had like a whole candy enterprise. Literally had like 5 friends selling candy for me in high school. That was like my first taste of entrepreneurship. And that was pretty cool. I think I was making almost like $1,500 a month after paying people selling candy in high school. So that was actually a pretty lucrative enterprise for a high school kid, right? I'm not working all day, all night because I had workers for me. So that was that. After high school, when I graduated, I was like, oh man, what am I going to do for money? The reason why I actually started the candy business was because I literally go to the mall 4 times a year, every season, apply for jobs at like every single store, and no one would hire me. Why? I don't know. So I just decided to start my own company. So that being said, when I graduated from high school, I was like, man, what am I going to do for money? You know, I didn't want to be the guy trying to sell candy on the college campus. So, you know, that was like a real shocker for me. But just fast forward time a little bit, when I was in college, I actually started my career in finance. I got like my Series 7, the stockbroker's license, when I was like 19, 20 years old. I did the whole wealth management thing for a good 5 or 6 years. I want to be transparent and say I was not successful at all in that business. I was the guy cold calling 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, working Saturdays, you know, putting in a lot of work, and also going to school full time. And I also had a girlfriend at the time. So, you know, working really hard and not too much time. But I was actually always really good with the market, and I would always find really good investment ideas. But in that business, if no one buys your ideas, you make no money, you know? So I was great with the market, but I was just not great at cold calling, and also with very good reason, right? No one's just gonna send you $20,000 to buy stock over the phone, right? This isn't the 90s or the 80s. And I always felt like I would have been successful if I was allowed to do like more in person and networks and stuff like that. But you know, the company I worked for, they only did cold calling. So that's that. Fast forwarding time a little bit, actually just staying on that a little bit. While I was there, you know, I had to do my own investment research. I was literally reading like an investment book a week or every 2 weeks. You know, you guys know I have on my website a book list. I've literally read almost all those books on that list, and plus more. So I did a lot of reading, a lot of investment research. I would produce investment research for the firm. So even though I was not successful financially, I was able to get a lot of hands-on experience with just learning the game of the stock market, and, you know, really putting my ideas to work. I mean, not putting them to work, but really picking ideas and seeing how they pan out, and seeing that I can do this, and I'm actually a pretty smart guy, and I'm pretty consistent and things like that. Fast forwarding time a little bit, that wasn't working out for me. I decided to go into, I started a graphic design business with a friend. Then that turned into us doing art shows. So like we were doing art shows in New York City. Every show we did, we would bring out maybe like 300 to 500 people a night. We were just doing like pop-up galleries, and we just wanted to create a space where really artists of color get an opportunity to showcase in New York City. I don't know how much you guys know about the art game, but, you know, it's a very elitist space. Unless you're wealthy or went to a big school or make the kind of art that really speaks to the gallery owners, which is not the kind of art that speaks to us as Black and brown people, like literally no one will give you opportunity. Literally have people in our art show, you know, organic 50,000 followers, 100,000 followers, people buying the art online, and no one will give them opportunity to showcase, because the art is more urban, and that just doesn't, urban art does not speak to, you know, a 50-year-old, you know, rich white man or rich white woman, you know, and that's just the fact. So we want to create a space where artists of color can come and showcase in New York and do their thing, and, you know, yeah, just get to showcase. So that was cool. I left that. I went to go work at a hedge fund where it was called SMB Capital. I did that for about a year. At SMB Capital, I was able to learn under the top 2 traders on the desk. Some of you guys know I'm like really good with technical analysis. I'm really good with charting. You know, I'm good at swing trading and things like that. And I learned all of that over there, you know, just working under the top 2 traders on the desk, you know, really get to see these guys. And it's not about the amount of money they make. It's just that, like, literally for a whole year straight, every single day as day traders, they come in and make money, you know, making $60,000 a month, $80,000 a month. $150,000 a month every single day. I mean, not every single day, every single month. Those were my mentors. But there were even people in the firm who were having six-figure days, $100,000 a day, $200,000 a day, $500,000 a week. There were people building trading systems where they literally turning on a computer, making $100,000 a month. So that was a really good experience. I also wasn't financially successful there either. Day trading wasn't my thing. Granted, I learned a lot, but I just feel like I just need to be trading on a longer time horizon. It's just a real thing. If you're working for somebody, you have to work the money how they tell you to. And I finished only down like 4%. It's not like I blew up the account. Just day trading wasn't for me. Then I went back to school, started my master's in computer science, did that for like 2 years. I dropped out of the master's. I never really officially started the master's program. I needed to like just start making money. So I started my own company, which is Startup Advisory Group, doing web development, app development, etc. Just fast forwarding time a little bit, I started doing events, started doing more community stuff, and now here we are with this investment community that I started. So that's just a little background on myself and my journey as an entrepreneur and investor and a financial professional. And maybe I'll just stop here real quick just to see if anyone has like any questions or thoughts before I continue. Nope. Okay. All right. We'll continue now. So now let's just get into the program. Actually, before we continue, I just want to also introduce you guys to Roselle and Lamine. Lamine, if you just want to turn your camera on. Roselle is kind of, maybe you could say, our program director. She's been helping me a lot behind the scenes with making the presentations, creating the curriculum, just keeping my head on track. And on some ways, I'm obviously a very brilliant man, but in other ways, as you guys see, like I'm doing a million things a day, and it's just hard keeping me on track. So I think that's the best thing that Roselle did, is just keep my brain focused and, keep me like, okay, Jeff, we got to keep doing this. We got to meet, we got to work on presentations, etc. So thank you, Roselle. This would not happen without you. And Lamine is actually also kind of like serving as an intern. I actually did like, was the bond mentorship program. I went and just did a little, introductory to investing and how to be successful workshop for high school students. And Lamine was there. Lamine's very hungry to learn. So Lamine's going to help us with like creating content, doing some investment research, things like that. So thank you, Lamine. Looking forward to working with you more going forward. So just want to give a shout out to the team who's helping, build us up. Now let's just get back into the program. All right. So as you guys know, right, we have an investment research program, and I really want to teach you guys the real deal. So some of the learning objectives is, research and analysis, right? Learning how to thoroughly investigate and analyze companies and what they are valued at. Macroeconomics, right? Understanding how domestic and international events impact financial markets. A simple example is things like, geopolitical events. Like there was an oil price war that happened during the pandemic that made oil go down to like $6 to $3 a barrel, and then that crisis got resolved, and now we see oil like, I don't know what oil is now, but it might be like $60 or $70 a barrel. If you are in tune with how a political situation can affect prices of a commodity, those are actually very easy trades to make and very easy trades to profit off of. I also want to teach you guys research tools, right? There's like 5,000 publicly traded companies, or probably even more than that if you include like all those penny stocks and over-the-counter stocks, right? Maybe like there's like 5,000 NASDAQ and New York Stock Exchange companies, and maybe 20,000 companies if you include all those like penny and OTC stocks, right? So how do we find the right companies for us, and how do we find it in an efficient way? So I definitely want to give you guys some research tools and how to use them and how to come up with, with an investment thesis. Like for myself, I'm sometimes looking for rapidly growing companies that's at a decent valuation, meaning like a good PE ratio or a good price to sales ratio, right? But a company that's maybe growing 50% a year in revenues, but maybe they have like a PE of 30, something like that. But we'll get more into those ratios and things like that throughout the program. So don't worry about it now if you don't know what that means. I think also the ultimate goal that I have is to help you guys develop an investment process that is, right for your financial goals and lifestyle. There's one thing that my mentor told me. He was a phenomenal day trader, and he would, one second, guys. Check your calendar. He would always tell me like, hey, like, you got to do what's best for you and what's best for your brain. He was a great day trader, and he would talk about how he could never do what Warren Buffett does, right? The long-term fundamental analysis. He would never be a superstar at that, but he's a superstar day trader. And he's like, if you speak to Warren Buffett will tell you that he could never be a trader. He could only be a long-term investor, right? So I just want to say there is no right or wrong approach. It's about what approach is best for you and your brain and also your lifestyle. There's some of us who we have businesses, we have jobs. Sitting in front of a computer every day trading is just not feasible, right? If you want to be a day trader, swing trader, active trader, you got to really be in front of the computer all the time, 24/7. There's some people who just want the money passively, right? And they don't want to take too much risk, like someone like me. And when you're doing the active trading thing, that is ultimately another job, because all the work and research and just everything around that, like it just becomes another job where if you want something where the money's just growing itself and you're not doing any work for the money to grow, then that's like a different investment approach, right? So I also want to help you guys develop the investment process that is best for you, your financial goals, and your lifestyle. And ultimately, like we are also building a powerful network of investors, entrepreneurs, technologists, and working professionals. For those who are ambitious and bring value, there's plenty of networking opportunities from high-powered people who look just like you. They're obviously not on this call today because they're like in the other group chats and even in our Telegram group, but we have people from like Google, we have a U.S. diplomat, we have myself. Like I'm literally a member at the Economic Club of New York because of this group. They invited me into their club because they like what I was doing and what I was doing for people of color. So I just say that to say, like, there's actually a lot of players in our group, low key, and I know it's a pandemic, so we can't really get together. Well, I guess nowadays we could get together, but before we couldn't. But hopefully we could do some more things in person where you guys could just like network, meet each other, maybe do some business together, get jobs, etc., whatever the case might be. So now this program structure, right? I put together it's actually 9 weeks now. I added another week to it. But I put together like 9 weeks of curriculum, that's going to teach you guys, how to do research like a professional money manager. After that 9 weeks is over, we're going to do fundamental reviews. So I know a lot of you guys we were already doing fundamental reviews together, but for those who weren't part of that group, all a fundamental review is all that is where we pick a company as a group to investigate. We're going to do this bi-weekly, so we get 2 weeks to research a company, and then we're going to come together as a group just to like, review it, talk through it, hear everyone's thoughts. And I just feel like researching together in real time is just going to help you guys develop the research skills and develop the mindset, right? Successful investing is, it is about information, but it's also about interpreting information, right? So when you're able to read an annual report, read the income statement, read the balance sheet, and really like interpret what that means for the company, what that means for the outlook for the company, really understanding the fundamentals of their business, etc. That will that will just help you be a more successful investor. And then, as you guys know, there will also be mentorship, right? So you guys know I do a lot of one-on-ones. I think the group thing is good, but I know some of you guys like the intimate one-to-one mentoring where we just go through whatever your challenges are, etc., as an investor or trader. And then we have the Telegram channel, so we also could do group mentoring through that, where you guys can just go ask your questions for the group to see, and I answer for the group to see, because your question might be something that other people are having issues or challenges with. So that's the program structure, right? We're going to start with this 9-week curriculum. I actually almost want to add another week to add cryptos to this. Just because I just feel like that's an asset class, that's just cryptos are just like stocks. It's just that, now you're buying somebody's coin instead of buying shares in the company. But cryptos are businesses like anything else. They have revenues, they have a use case for their technology. They're raising capital through issuing their tokens. They're just like any other companies. You're not buying stock, you're buying their coin. So I also didn't want to introduce cryptos as well. So that's the program structure. And then our vision, right? So my goal is to be able to teach 100,000 people of color how to properly invest. At this kind of scale, we're talking about a new generation of people who can successfully participate in financial markets, as well as pass on the knowledge. The challenge for our parents and grandparents is that nobody sat down and taught them how to research and invest like a professional. And, we really want to change that for our community. And just going back to my statement that I made earlier about, of course, systemic oppression is a real thing. Systemic racism is a real thing. But there's nobody stopping you from making good financial decisions that's going to help propel you forward economically. No matter how racist people are, no one can stop you from opening up a corporation. No one can stop you from buying stock. No one can stop you from buying real estate. So, people are trying to hold us back, but we can push ourselves forward without people. And that's just, my perspective on this whole thing. So to get to that kind of scale, of course, it takes money, right? So I want to go with a different kind of business model. I'm not looking to charge anybody, but all I'm looking for is donations. I know I've spoken to a lot of guys about this before. To achieve this kind of scale, right, we need to hire more mentors, we need to hire instructors, administrative staff to successfully educate and serve more people as we grow. And to do that, we need capital, and we're experimenting with a new business model, right? In exchange for providing this educational program and content for free to the community, we just ask that you guys donate to sponsor the program. We're creating an organization that serves community of color, which is funded by communities of color, right? We're always talking about, how come Black people don't have their own schools? How come Black people don't have their own newspapers? How come Black people don't have this, that, and the third? Well, I obviously took the first step, and I did this for a whole year for free, and just, trying to educate people on this, that, and the third. And, we could really create our own institution that is building up people of color, educating people of color, and teaching people of color how to invest, right? And I feel like by doing things independently as a community, we can ensure that we're executing things in a way that is aligned with the needs of our community. We also won't be bound to demands or expectations of outside funders that might not be in line with our best interests. And just like all other communities, other communities have institutions that serve and elevate their people. And I just want to create that for our own community. So that's why I'm asking for the whole donation thing. And how to donate, right, in exchange for this free service and education that we're going to be providing. We just asked for a suggested donation of $100 per month. Of course, I recommend you donate whatever you can afford. And the idea behind the donations that not everyone will be able to afford. I did not want to put any kind of price barrier to be able to come and learn. If you can afford it, you can donate. If you can afford to donate more, feel free to donate more. But if you can't afford, don't even worry about it, right? The idea is that the people who do have in our community, by donating small sums collectively, will create enough income that, it can support the whole group, and when those people who can't donate get to a place where they can donate, I'm sure they will. And yeah, right. Just like other communities have that, other communities have institutions that is by the community, that serves the community, that's funded by the community. And I just want to create the same thing in our own community, I think that's how we're going to have longevity and just create something unique and different. So you guys can donate through PayPal, Zelle, Venmo, Cash App. You can also donate cash. You could also send in a check. I will send everybody links on how to donate to these things. So don't worry about that right now. And then just lastly, disclaimers. Anything that we do here is not any investment advice. I don't tell anyone to buy anything or sell anything. Everything that we do is just purely educational. I just got to say this legally. If you are looking for investment advice, you should speak to a financial advisor or an investment advisor, a licensed investment professional, because legally I am not allowed to give investment advice because I'm not currently licensed. So that is our presentation. And now I just want to bring it back to the group just to see if anyone has any questions or thoughts. Or do I need to unmute you guys?
I think I unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you for the presentation. One question that I have is, when do you know what date, I guess, the first class is going to start?
Oh, yes.
Meeting?
Great question. December 4th. So
okay.
That's going to be the first one. And we're going to meet every Saturday. I even want to show you. I'm going to share my screen. Thank you to Razel. We actually have all the, actually, I don't need to necessarily show you guys that, but I have the calendar invites and everything set up for every session. We also have presentations for every session. So yeah, starting December 4th, every Saturday for 9 weeks, we're going to meet. And then after that, we'll meet bi-weekly just to do the fundamental reviews for 2 months. And then the program will wrap up. So it's going to be a little bit long, but it's just 9 weeks of curriculum. And then after that, it's just, researching together as a group.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, you got it. Anybody else have any questions? John, yes, let me unmute you. You should be able to unmute yourself.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Big Jeffrey.
Hey, what's going on,
great,
John?
Man. You sounded great. I like your introduction. I like your vision. Let's get that 100,000 minorities going. So if I need a loan, I know who to holler at. Now, Jeff, on the as with regards to, I know tomorrow you're supposed to have are you trying to incorporate the crypto into what you're doing?
Yeah, I want to add one more week about cryptos, just to do like fundamentals around cryptos, right? I mean, we could just talk about it out loud real quick for the group, but some like cryptos are fundamentals. Of course, we'll look at revenue, we'll look at the use case of a cryptocurrency, like what is the utility for this technology? But then there's things like what is the adoption rate, right? How fast are people? I mean, how many people are using this thing over time? What are the tokenomics? So I maybe want to do something around crypto. And for the fundamental review aspect, I definitely want to include some ripped cryptos as well to research. And I also need to be better at communicating. That's something I need to improve upon. But I am also doing a crypto talk on Clubhouse tomorrow at 12 p.m. I'll send a reminder in the Telegram channel, but pretty much we have, I don't think, Dami was a part of our Telegram group. I don't know if you guys remember Dami, but Dami is like a really good technology person. He's like literally one of the most brilliant technology business minds that I ever met. And I'm just like trying to cultivate this guy into becoming like a superstar investor. But he's going to come and give a talk about decentralized exchanges and decentralized exchange coins, etc. So we're going to have a little intro talk on crypto tomorrow if you guys want to join. I'll send the info in the Telegram though. Thanks for reminding me, John.
Yes,
but to answer your question, yes, we're going to incorporate crypto.
Okay. All right. Just wanted to know that. So this is going to be like a weekly thing we're doing?
Yep, weekly.
So it's
weekly starting December 4th.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll have Christmas off and we'll have New Year's off, for the record.
Okay. I appreciate you, Jeff. I definitely will be in that call tomorrow.
Thank you for your support as always.
Brother, we had to get this money.
For sure. Anyone else have any questions?
Just if you could, it's not a question, but just if you could add me to the Telegram group when you get a chance.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I got you. Okay. All right, so I guess not too many questions. I'm seeing some comments.
I don't have a question, but I just wanted to make a comment.
Yes.
I just wanted to say hello to the group. As Jeff told you, my name is Raz, and I've been really helping him on the back end to build the presentations and really be thoughtful about the program that we are putting forth. So some of the communications and the social media content and the engagement will also be coming from myself. So you can, if you can't reach Jeff or if you have a question, you're in Telegram, I can also support you guys with whatever resources you need to be successful in the program. So I just wanted to introduce myself and say that I'm excited to get to know everyone and work with you all.
Yes, thank you, Raz. I should have gave you a moment to introduce yourself before, but thank you for that. and this is why I keep her around. She's on point. Before we go, I just want to show you guys the curriculum real quick. It wasn't on the presentation, but I just think you guys should see it. I did post this on Instagram. Let me just zoom in, right? But week one, actually, let me pull up the document for you guys. Let me stop sharing. Let me just pull up the document because it's going to give you guys a breakdown of the agenda for each week. And I will also send you guys the curriculum, so don't worry about it. Just bear with me for like 30 seconds as I pull it up. All right, there we go. Let me just zoom in so you guys can see it nice and clear. All right, so this is the kickoff meeting, so we don't have to worry about this. Week one, I'm going to do an introduction to investing, right? So what is the stock market, market dynamics, foundations for success, right? The mental aspects of finance, tearing down negative stigmas around money, etc. And what is investment research? I want to give you guys a little foundation, right? So we want to do week two. So we're going to have an outside speaker for week two. What is the business cycle? An introduction to economics, a breakdown of the primary investing strategies, right? So there's value investing, which, maybe you guys heard of Warren Buffett, and that's what he's most known for, right? How do you buy a company that's worth $500 million, but maybe like on the books, it's really worth $3 billion, right? How do you find that? That's value investing. Then we're talking about growth investing, meaning like, how do you find a company that's worth $100 million today, but in 5 years it's going to be worth $2 billion, right? How do you identify those situations consistently? Then there's technical trading, right? So charting and stuff like that. Then there's global macro trading. So like, how do you leverage geopolitical events, right? So a new president coming into office, or the Federal Reserve says they're going to take action on inflation, or like, an oil price war, right? How do you profit off of these political events that happen? And I want to say these global macro trades are sometimes very low risk, but super profitable, because like there's usually like only one direction that things can go in. Just a tangible example. There was a time, this was like 7 years ago, right, where inflation was like -2%, and the Fed says that we need inflation to be positive 2%, and they said they're going to do everything in their power to make inflation positive 2%, right? So literally, as a trader, you go, hey, I'm going to buy like TIPS, which is a security where if inflation goes up, those bonds go up with inflation. It's called Treasury Inflation Protected Securities. And that's just an example where, like, that's a no-brainer trade. Just buy TIPS because the Federal Reserve is going to force inflation to go up, so teach you guys that. Week 5, how to research a company, right? So just how do you find the investor relations section of a company? A 10K is the annual report. A 10Q is a quarterly report. I know we've done this before though, but like, what are the sections that are important and things like that? How do you research their products and services? How do you research competitors? In the 10Ks and 10Qs, they have like the financial statements. So like, how do you read a income statement? How do you read a balance sheet? How do you read a statement of cash flows? Oh, excuse me, that's actually week 6. Week 6, we actually do a real deep dive into that. So income statement, balance sheet, and cash flows. Week 7 and 8, we're going to be doing tools. So the first one is how to use a stock screener. I know we've done FinViz together, but I just want to do that again. I feel like you guys didn't really get good at it, respectfully. Week 8, other tools, how to do industry analysis, how to research economic data, etc. Week 9, like I said, I want to add another week. Government, central banks, and the stock market. So just covering what is fiscal policy. Fiscal policy is measures the US government or a country's government takes to either boost an economy or slow down an economy. What is monetary policy? Monetary policy is when a central bank of a country takes measures to boost an economy or slow down an economy, and what tools are at their disposal. Then what is the US Treasury, and covering what is the Federal Reserve, which is our central bank, and then central banks in general. And then I want to add another week around cryptocurrency and just the fundamentals of cryptos, and then that'll be the program. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick overview of the curriculum before we go. And maybe just with that being said, does anyone have any thoughts or questions about the curriculum? Nope, pretty straightforward.
Good.
So yeah, you have a question, Rasharda?
No, just said it looks good. Thank you.
Yes, no, thank you. All right, so I guess that's all that I have for you guys today. If anyone has any last minute questions or thoughts, feel free to let me know. If you guys have any friends, family, just whatever people who you think might be interested in something like this, feel free to refer them to me. I'm gonna go on another promo run this week to just do another session like this for next Saturday. So once again, if you guys see that on social media, you don't need to join this call again, because it's literally just going to be this, just about the program, about the curriculum, etc. Except that group has never worked with me, so maybe things will be a little more in depth. But yeah, if you have anybody who you think could be this could benefit, or you think they would be interested in it, feel free to refer them. Happy to get them involved. Like I said, we're going to start December 4th. So, just trying to get as many people involved before December 4th happens. My cap is 50, though. I find that 50 is I think that's when it gets to be too many people with the one-to-one mentoring and stuff like that. So yeah. So if there's no more questions, I'll let everyone get back to this Saturday. If anyone has any questions, speak now or forever hold your peace.
Thanks, Jeff. You're appreciated. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what you said, this is are you going to wait to have the 50 people to kick this off, or you're kicking it off regardless of how many people you have registered?
Yeah, I'm kicking it off regardless of how many people are registered. We're kicking off December 4th. I'm just saying 50 is my absolute cap.
Okay, so 50 people. I just wanted to make sure you're waiting to get a certain amount of people to register before you start, or you're just starting and as you go along, will you add?
Yeah, no, we won't be adding as we go along. Whoever's in by December 4th is in. If you're not in by December 4th, then you're just gonna have to join for the next cohort. Another thing. You have a
registration. Okay, got you.
Yeah. Another thing too, just to to build a little more community around this. I'm definitely gonna start publishing research. I don't know if some of you guys were on that call where I had George Dagnino come. He was that $1 billion money manager. He's not a billionaire himself, but he ran $4 billion for Goodyear, the tire company. He came and spoke to us. So he's gonna give me his research to publish as well. So we're gonna start publishing research. I'm looking to step up more content. There's some of you guys who are a little more experienced by now, like you, John. So if you guys wanna also publish your own research or collaborate on some content to help educate the community, that's definitely welcomed as well. And just want to put that out there too. We're going to start doing research and generating ideas for you guys to, just help you guys along your investing journey.
Jeff, so sorry to butt in. So when you say, you want, when it comes to research, because everybody has their styles of researching and their patterns based off of how they're investing, short-term, long-term, whatever be the case. So as the strategies and the guidelines that you're going to be given, is it based off of the person's trading style, what they want to do, or are you just doing an in general thing these are things you can do to find stuff, you know, research. This is where you can go to get this. Because I mean, you pretty much put it down in the bullets and gotta say, you know. So I just wanted to know is when you start the classes and you get to like to that research part and you're saying like, guys, you know, write the audit, because you already know I'm a maverick when it comes to researching.
Yes.
So do you want to incorporate different people's style of researching where you can just like, you know, blend it in, or what are you trying to do?
You know, so that's a great question. And all I'm looking for are well thought out ideas, right? So if you're more of a technical person and looking at charts, I'm not really looking for like the short-term trade stuff. I'm not looking for like, you know, trade of the week and stuff like that, but I definitely want like some kind of fundamental analysis. What does this company do? What makes them special? What makes them explosive? If you want to incorporate some charting, what's happening in the charts that makes it a good buying opportunity, or whatever the case might be, and then that's fine, right? But I feel like if there's just some kind of overlay about the company, and then if someone wants to incorporate charts, I feel like that kind of covers most trading strategies, right? So, you know, someone might just be focused on like, you know, you were very focused on like penny stocks and cryptos, and that's fine, right? Just as long as you are in depth about what this company does and why they bring value, etc., then I'm open to it. I just need to just be clear on what this company is. That's like my baseline. Yeah, I just don't want a bunch of like, hey, buy this stock because someone in another group said to buy it, you know?
Yeah. That no, I totally get it. I mean, if you're gonna recommend a stock, you should actually have done a lot of research, due diligence on it, be able to explain why you think this is a great investment, what it has down the line. You know me, I'm all about long term.
Yeah.
So I like to get in on the ground floor, find out what they have, what their utilities, or if they have, is this a company that in 2-3 years they're growing? Are they making acquisitions? Are they a shell? Like, you know, there's so many things that go into this stuff. So I get it. And you got large caps. I call you the large cap maestro. I'm the small cap maestro.
There we go. Yeah. So yeah, just as long as people are, you know, in depth with the research, whatever is fine. But it's also won't just be research on individual companies on my end. I'm also probably going to be doing a lot more like industry research and economic research and things like that as well. I just feel like people need like that broader sense of things, right? Like, you know, what's driving the economy. I know inflation is a big thing right now. Inflation is like 6.2%. I think it's a point that people understand. Yeah, thank you, Rizal. Like, you know, context to markets, right? What's driving inflation? What's making inflation go up? What could make inflation go down? What stocks are affected by inflation going up? So also plan to do a little bit more of that than just like individual stock picks. But yeah, but all is welcome as long as you're thorough in your analysis and you just, you know, break down why you're doing things, etc. Then I'm open to it. Yeah. Thank you, John, for all the questions. You're asking really good questions. Anybody else have any questions before we wrap up? I feel like I keep asking this. No. All right. So yeah, so thank you all. I will see you guys on December 4th. I also am going to work harder at being more engaged in the Telegram and also being more engaged on Instagram. You know, just communication isn't my best. Roselle is also going to work with me on communicating with you guys too. So you might just get communication through her. So yeah, so if anything, you know, you guys reach out to me. If you guys want to talk to me offline individually, I'm available. I will send you guys the links for mentoring. I will send you guys the curriculum sheet. I'm also going to have a Dropbox. I mean, not a Dropbox, but like a OneDrive folder. OneDrive is like Google Drive, just like an online folder where we could, you know, learning materials, like just put all the learning materials or investment ideas in there and etc. So yeah, so there's gonna be a little more structure. So I will share all those things with you guys. So yeah, thank you for your time and have a great Saturday.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a good day, Jeff.
Yeah, thank you, Lamine.
Bye, thanks.
Yeah, bye. Thank you. Yep, you're welcome.